morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is all about safety and we are going to be measuring for our window nets. You must have these. It's not an option. You have to have them for racing, and we have to measure our ones to send to PRP so that they can make them and send them our way so we can race.
Correct. Not all cages are designed the same, and the space that your window net fits in is not always the same. There is the option of getting square window nets.
Yes.
You can get them right off of Summit, Speedway Motors. I'm sure PRP even sells regular ones.
PRP have a good number of different shaped window nets that you can get directly off the website.
And then you would build your cage, your opening to that, whether that means it fits the back but not the front, and you do like a double A-pillar bar to match that front edge, or whatever it happens to be. We could do that, but we have the option of having ones that fit what we built.
Exactly, custom made. So in order for them to be made, we have to measure, and this is how we're going to measure it. We're literally going to take a large piece of cardboard. Chris is going to hold it up on the outside. I'm going to hop on in. We've popped a door on right now. I'm going to trace everything. We're going to cut it out. We're going to measure everything, and then we're going to send that off to PRP, and they should come back with a window net for us.
Yeah, once it's all traced out, we'll fit it. It'll fit way too tight, and we'll trim it so it has like a nice little margin. We'll figure out where, I believe we're going to do grommets at the top and a bar across the bottom, so that when we get out, you unhook the bar and you toss it onto the roof.
On top of the roof. You can do it other ways though,
We could do it so it were to flop over the door. If the doors were permanent, I would say we should do it that way. The benefit of that way is if you're ever trail riding this, you can flop it to the inside and tuck it down in.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that actually.
But if you're not in race season, if we do the grommets correctly at the top, we can make it so it's easy to remove altogether. So we're not flopping them anywhere. They just go in the race bag for the Jeep and we're done.
Awesome. Now, the reason why you need nets when racing is to simply keep you in the vehicle if something happens. Bearing in mind, you're going to have your harnesses, you have your hands, you're very much kind of pinned in your seat, but just in case, they like to close up that opening right there.
Yes, in a lot of open wheel racing, open cockpit racing, there are no window nets. But what you'll notice in there is that there are tethers to your hands that go to your fifth and sixth seatbelt point, so that your hands can come up, they can get to the shifter, but if you were to flip over, they do this and they lock in place. This is really to keep our hands inside the car and hopefully to keep large pieces of debris from coming in and hitting us. Which
is a big chance.
It's a guarantee.
Since it's in Johnson Valley. This is what Johnson Valley looks like. So we're gonna get to measuring and see if we can get these in time. That's what I'm worried about.
So,
yes,
we need to get the contour of the door with the contour of the cage, and then start actually fitting it to there. This is only going to be close-ish.
up here just to make it easier for ourselves.
Yes. And since we want to have like a small margin around the edges, instead of using that thin bodied marker, if we use a big bodied marker, we have just about a ½ an inch from the edge to the tip. So that'll bring the edges in a little bit for our next cut. And I'm just going to contour this directly to the door. Because we know that the door on that front downward slope is just a little bit lower than the roll cage.
Yeah.
And then the bottom edge is going to be our bottom bar section.
Okay.
And ready to do our next cut. Get a little bit closer, and from there we should be able to fit it in the doorway there. And exactly the same way that we're trimming too, where you like mark the high spots.
Yeah.
We'll just mark it as it looks good in there, trim it to that. They specifically want to use it as a fabric template, basically. Yeah.
Yes, that's like exact.
Nice. Okay. So that top edge is pretty darn good. I think we could use, honestly, use like a little bit of sanding paper to sand it in certain places.
Okay.
I'm going to trim this bottom edge very quick with these scissors.
Okay. And then since we're here, just at the door, you guys can see that we have an X here. We're slightly unsure. We've been told that we are perfectly fine like this. But what we are going to do is we are going to cut and cope a bar for here to take with us in case at tech they say, no, you absolutely have to have one. I have spoken to people who have been doing this race for many, many a year, and they say that it's good. But just in case, we shall take them. So we need to make sure that the window net fits with that also, which it will.
Correct. And that's the shoulder bar height is set by the door height.
Yep.
So we know that we cope into this weld here.
Yep.
And it comes straight across the same way that this one has 3/4 of an inch of extra margin of tube.
Yep.
It'll be the same thing here right over the edge of the door. So we know that we can use that as our shape.
Always be prepared, people, because you just never know. That is actually
beauteous. I do think that we need to pull about 1/2 inch off the bottom.
Bottom, yeah.
Know that since they're going to use this as a template for the material, net material, we want it clean. So before we finish it off, once we get it correct, we can take blue tape and just wrap the perimeter, and it'll be, we can make it exactly what they need.
Yeah, that's way better.
Now, the real moment of truth. Moment of truth, moment of truth.
Does it work on the other side?
I can make it. Yes, it does actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I was just putting it in the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Whoa, works on the other side. You have great handwriting.
Thank you. I got it from my mama.
Oh. It's as easy as that. So hopefully we're gonna send this away today, and hopefully PRP will send us back some window nets ASAP so that we can get to the King of the Hammers Every Man's Challenge 4,500 race on the 10th of February. So I'm gonna show you this work of art.
The next day.
A universal race quip.
Race quip window bar setup. So it comes with a top bar and then a spring bar. A spring bar holds the thing in place, like that.
Amazing.
But our window nets they don't have a square front corner. It goes up at an angle.
Yeah.
Which means that the bottom support rod actually is sewn into the window.
Okay.
So there's a little stub that we're going to weld onto here. Mm-hmm. And that is going to go into our bottom. Basically, if I'm Holly, I'm on the driver's side. Window net's up here on the roof. You're going to swing it down, and it's going to hang like this. There'll be a little handle here. This goes into something back here. It kind of clips in, goes back, and you'll push the red handle back, and that'll allow this little stub to come backwards, and it springs forward into its mount, and then it's captive. And if you ever have to get out, you grab the little handle and you go boop, and it goes up. You go all the way to this point.
Ooh,
it also might not.
Okay.
But we're not going to know until we know. No spring. Spring only goes to there. Huzzah.
Okay. That's a good thing, though.
It's a great thing.
Awesome.
So now, where's our window cutout?
Oh, it's over here.
On the hood. Actually, this is my window.
This is your window, but we did fit it to my window and it kind of works too.
Yeah, remarkably good bend.
Oh, look at that.
So this is a 2-inch sewn in pocket.
Yep.
So we need to cut, actually we need to add a little bit of bend to it, a tiny bit. But we'll cut this down and then this will become captive in here, and out the front of this pocket there'll be a little stubby with bloop, that guy on it.
Amazing. And this is what PRP needs. Not just the cutout, but all of this as well, like the rundown of basically what's going to be where.
Yeah, so it's an SFI legal mesh panel versus just a 1-inch webbing grid.
Yeah.
So the top rod is just a standard rod, goes in a 2-inch pocket. So they'll have a pocket with open ends out here, 1-inch tape here, and then these guys are 1-inch webbing every, I believe it's 8 inches on center.
Yep.
All the way across, and then this is mesh, and that makes it legal for SFI.
Woo! So this is what we're doing before we send it off to PRP. Oh. So this is where we're gonna have to cut it. And
yep, and then maybe we'll weld a little cap on there.
Yep.
Just something to keep it. And then luckily I had Walter order this kit with the extra long pair of bars because the top bar, we didn't need that much length, but we need to cut a little piece off of it to put here. So when I looked at the kit, I was like, yeah, we can make what we need out of that.
yeah.
Kind of how a lot of this goes. And this one will be pretty good. It'll be done very soon too.
Yep.
It's a quickie.
We're just gonna get this done right now, and yeah.
So, did you know that your welder came with a material gauger?
Yes, I do know that, and it makes me very excited.
Well, it's time to use it for the first time.
Perfect.
It's 14 gauge. It does actually go in there. It's definitely not 16, it's 14.
14 gauge. That's how you can tell.
ESAB.
That's so cool. Very cool. Just in case you don't know what material you're working with.
So we're going to go ahead and we are going to
Use this. And do it like that. It's pretty darn flancy, if you ask
let's see what it
me.
looks like. I think we're going to actually have to trim this
Trim
down
it.
just a tiny bit.
Yeah,
But I think
but it's pretty spot on.
it is rather good. Because this guy is back like this.
Yep, so we just need to trim it just a little.
Just a touch.
But that
So,
looks fantastic. So we have to send these out with
correct.
the cardboard.
So they're going to be sewn together.
Yes. So we almost missed like a million steps. They probably would have just called and said, "What on earth is this?" Don't do that. Go through the instructions, and they actually have a video on their website that tells you exactly what to do. I will leave the link in the description below. Ta-da. it'll click back. And here's my little handle, so I can click it back from inside. This is what we need to send.